The town of Farmington. Respecting history, planning the future.
State of Connecticut General Assembly official citation introduced by Representative Mike D'Amico, Representative Derek Slapp, Senator Beth Bai, who was here earlier but had to leave unfortunately, and Senator Terry Geritana. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Peter Mastrobatista, Gary Palumbo, Amy Suffredini, Meredith Trimble, and John Vibert, in recognition of your many years of dedicated and faithful service to the town of Farmington as a member of the town council. The residents of Farmington are the beneficiaries of your thoughtful stewardship. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success. Given on this 12th day of December 2017 at the state capitol by Martin Looney, President Pro Tem of the State Senate, Joe Arasimowicz, Speaker of the House, and Denise Merrill, Secretary of the State. So congratulations to one and all, and I'll be happy to distribute these citations. I guess we'll do them in the order that they're here. John Vibert, if you would. And we have to do pictures, right? Hey, smile for the camera. Do we do okay? All right. Thanks, John. Very much appreciated. All right. Amy Suffredini. Here we go. Okay. So, Meredith Trimble. Let's see, Peter Mastrobatista. And finally, Gary Palumbo.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you to all the legislators for those wonderful proclamations. Okay, at this time, I'm going to have Kathy Egan join me. We are going to have each council member come up. I'm afraid if I touch this, it's going to, this panel. Each member come up. Peter, we'd like to begin with you. And we have a proclamation and we have a present. So this is the fun time. First of all, I'd like to say a few words. Peter, you're a lifelong resident of Farmington, and you have actually generations before you of Mastrobatistas that have been here. You're a Farmington High School graduate, and I believe you have an interesting distinction that you were on a state-winning soccer team a few years ago. We won't see how long, but the state champs. So I think that's quite. Oh, okay. There we go. Yes.
I haven't forgotten.
Yes. Good. Good. I was out of high school by then. But that's okay. Peter's involvement in Farmington began as a volunteer in the Farmington Fire Department, and he was assistant to the fire chief, assistant fire chief. I think that's still a passion of yours today with the fire department. This background was valuable to Peter as a town council member. Peter's involvement in town council committees such as TPZ and the Gateway, which gave direction for Farmington Center, with hundreds of citizens involved at the time, for the future of Farmington that we will see. Peter also served on the retirement board, when we were at a crossroads with funding and the future, and how do we deal with pensions? Long hours and hard choices were made to move us into the right direction for the future. Peter, your dedication and your time that you've put into this town is much appreciated, and I'm sure you're still going to be very involved in many ways, so thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And now I'll read the proclamation. Whereas Peter Master Batista has served on the Farmington Town Council from 2010 to 2018, and whereas Peter Master Batista has served as an alternate on the Town Planning and Zoning Commission from 2010 to 2012, and whereas Peter Master Batista has served as chairman of the Land Acquisition Committee, Retirement Board, and Gateway Committee, and whereas Peter Master Batista has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission and the joint Town of Farmington City of Hartford Committee, and whereas Peter Master Batista is an active member in the Farmington community, having served as a longtime member and past assistant chief of the Farmington Volunteer Fire Department, and whereas Peter Master Batista has always maintained a focus on the public good and acted to protect the public interest over private interests while donating countless hours of time, energy, and personal commitment to better our community and enrich the lives of the residents of the town of Farmington. And whereas, in addition to his long-standing commitment to the town, Peter Master Batista's true devotion lies with his loved ones, including his wife, Laura, and his daughters, Emma and Lily. Now, therefore, the Town Council, Farmington Town Council, hereby commends Town Council member Peter Master Batista for his excellent work on behalf of the community, and we hereby thank him for his selfless dedication and immeasurable contributions and commitment to the town of Farmington and its residents. The Farmington Town Council hereby extends to Peter Master Batista best wishes on the new endeavors. Dated this 12th day of December 2017 at Farmington, Connecticut. Nancy Nickerson, Farmington Town Council Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. I gotta open this now? Thank you. Gotta stay on schedule. Oh, very nice. Thank you. Yeah, this is pretty sharp, huh? I wear this all the time around town. I needed this when I go to Highland Park. Thank you. Yes. I don't have any prepared remarks, but I got to say, it's 4 years went by pretty fast. And it was all those hours you mentioned that we put in, I enjoyed it all. There were maybe a couple of times that you got to be a bit frustrated, and I wanted to just throw my arms up and say that's enough. But we persevered, and we did a lot of good things for this town. Collectively, some of the newest best friends I have right now are from sitting up here. And John, Amy, and Meredith, countless hours of talking, negotiating, right? And I think we did it in the best interest of what was right for the town of Farmington. And we always came through, and I think after 4 years working together collectively, I think we did a great job. I really do. All these committees that I'm on, I need to thank Liz Dolphin from Land Acquisition, and John. We were on land together, and then Amy in the second term. Liz was very helpful throughout that whole process. We did a lot of wonderful things. We purchased I think, in my opinion, a great deal of property for the betterment of the town. And I'm very happy for that. Gateway, Rose Ponte, Bill Warner, invaluable help. I'm no expert in planning or anything like that, but those are really fabulous people we have working there, and Kathy also involved in that. And the pension fund, Joe Schwecke, the guy's, he's very good, excellent. Our money's in good hands, let's put it that way with Joe. And topping the list, my dear friend, Kathy Egan, my boss, right? I would call her up a lot asking for clarifications. Is this right? Isn't it right? I don't think it is. She might try to convince me, maybe not, but we always got through it, and invaluable resource. She was always there for all of us, and I truly appreciate it. I do. Thank you, Kathy. And that's it. I had a blast. This is not how I wanted to go out. I thought I was just hitting my stride right now. And I wish the next council the best of luck. Follow your heart. Do what's best for Farmington. That's all. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Hold on. Sorry. My hun bun, Laura, missed a lot of events, dinners, everything, running out of the house. She was always my sounding board, and she heard me screaming a lot. I love her. I thank you with all my heart for being there for me. Thank you. Thanks.
Gary Palumbo. Gary, your store, your business on Farmington Avenue, probably went through quite a transformation after the election, or maybe during. It became a real hub for citizens to discuss issues and concerns and vent about the town. Not a quiet place anymore. You were someone and a place that people could go to share their thoughts, good and bad. Your service on the Economic Development Commission, one of your committees, and in the business community was of great value to the town. Your monitoring of concerns in Unionville has served the citizens well, as did your place for all the citizens on the library board. Your dedication and your caring for Farmington, for our town, is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Whereas Gary Palumbo has served on the Farmington Town Council from 2016 to 2018. Whereas Gary Palumbo has served as an alternate on the Zoning Board of Appeals from 2014 to 2016. Whereas Gary Palumbo has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Economic Development Commission, the Housing Authority, the Joint Town of Farmington City of Hartford Committee, and the Library Board. And whereas Gary Palumbo is an active member in the Farmington community as a member of UNICO and an officer in the Knights of Columbus. And whereas Gary Palumbo has always maintained a focus on the public good and acted to protect the public interest over private interest while donating countless hours of time, energy, and personal commitment to better our community and enrich the lives of the residents of the town of Farmington. And whereas in addition to his long-standing commitment to the town, Gary Palumbo's true devotion lies with his loved ones, including his wife Amy, his son Anthony, and his daughter Deanna. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council hereby commends Town Council member Gary Palumbo for his excellent work on behalf of the community, and we hereby thank him for his selfless dedication and immeasurable contributions and commitment to the town of Farmington and its residents. The Farmington Town Council hereby extends to Gary Palumbo best wishes on his new endeavors, dated this 12th day of December 2017 at Farmington, Connecticut. Nancy W. Nickerson, Farmington Town Council Chair.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. It has been a pleasure and an honor serving on town council. I've met so many people. We've gone through quite a year, but it's definitely been an honor. I'm going to miss the time spent with our fellow council people, and I'd like to just thank everybody. Thank you very much.
Amy. Amy, you've served in many different facets of the town council. Your endless hours on the Gateway Committee that involved hundreds of citizens will guide Farmington in a positive direction for the future of our town. Your service on the Human Relations Commission coincided with a time when we were in the process of renovating, changing, enhancing the roads and the sidewalks, and really the connectability that we were looking at for all of Unionville and our different communities around that. Your close attention to our citizens and addressing their needs was very valuable, and their voice was always heard. You're involved in many other aspects of the Farmington community, like the FEGLA, which are also very appreciative of your dedication. Your thoughtful and clear approach to many issues on the council will be missed. Thank you very much for your dedication to the citizens of Farmington. Now I'll read the proclamation. Whereas Amy Suffredini has served on the Farmington Town Council from 2013 to 2018, and whereas during her tenure on the Town Council, Amy Suffredini has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Human Relations Commission, the Historic District Commission, the Town Planning and Zoning Commission, the Yukon Dock Committee, and the Gateway Committee. And whereas Amy Suffredini has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Land Acquisition Committee and the Stephen Fliss Scholarship Committee, and whereas Amy Suffredini is an active member in the Farmington community, having served as a trustee for the Farmington Village Green Library Association, a board member of the Stanley Whitman House, and a board member of the Farmington Public School Foundation. And whereas Amy Suffredini has always maintained a focus on the public good and acted to protect the public interest over private interests while donating countless hours of time, energy, and personal commitment to better our community and enrich the lives of the residents of the town of Farmington. And whereas, in addition to her long-standing commitment to the town, Amy Suffredini's true devotion lies with her loved ones, including her husband Brian, son Dylan, and her daughter Isabella. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council hereby commends Town Council member Amy Suffredini for her excellent work on behalf of the community, and we hereby thank her for her selfless dedication and immeasurable contributions and the commitment to the town of Farmington and its residents. The Farmington Town Council hereby extends to Amy Suffredini best wishes on her new endeavors. Dated this 12th day of December 2017 at Farmington, Connecticut. Nancy Nickerson, Farmington Town Council Chair.
What we did too is that we have your two council pictures, and then we put the Human Relations Commission in the middle. I thought you would like that. Nice to show.
Vanna White.
So we have your two pictures, and then the Human Relations Commission in the middle too. Yes.
I've been doing politics for a bunch of years, and I always forget to put a speech together. I'm notorious for making it speak up at the last minute. The past 5 years, I got a glimpse into how Farmington runs. And unless you're involved in one of these boards or the committee or a council, you don't see the day-to-day. What I saw was, to start with, an unbelievable staff, an unbelievable community. And the amount of work and time that not only our committee members and our Board of Ed and our citizens and our volunteers it's just unbelievable how well this town runs, and it's because of the people. And it's not just the commissions, and it's not just the committees, it's everyone. This town is so spectacular because everyone's invested. People care so much about this town. Whether it's the coaches or whether it's Nancy, for instance. But what we get to do is we get to see all of that, because our job is not only to sit on the council and listen and try to respond, but our job is to be in the community and watch what's going on. So honestly, the 5 years has made me adore this town even more. And I'm thrilled to be here, and even though I won't be on the council, I realize that there's only way for me to be here is to be here and to continue to contribute, because I think that's why Farmington shines. Peter did lots of thank yous, so I'm not going to go through everyone. Ruth Groby is someone who I also want to note. Ruth is a huge advocate for our neighbors with disabilities. And during her time as the leader of the committee, she has radically changed how we do things in this town. So we don't do any capital improvements, we don't do any changes without first saying, let's make sure that everyone is going to benefit from this. And how does it impact someone in a wheelchair? And how does it impact someone with a stroller? And Ruth really spearheaded that, and working with her was spectacular. Jeff Apuzzo is someone I need to thank also, and Peter and I worked with him on the Gateway. And he had the vision to understand how important vision is. There were things that were happening to Farmington instead of Farmington taking control and saying, this is what I want. And he was the one who had the brainchild of creating the Gateway. And then he left, and Peter and I started with it. And I think of the legacies that we leave, that's going to be something that I'm super proud of, as well as a lot of the land acquisition work. And bulk pickup, give me a high five. Yes. The one thing I just want to do is thank the people that I worked with, the 7 on the council, or the 6. Peter and I argued a lot, but what I learned is you get better when you work with people on the other side. You get better when you work through issues, and you're all integrity. I would vote for you in a second, even though you're in the other party. Because you only cared about what was best for the town, and that is unbelievable. John was here before I was here by about 3 years, and I had no idea what I was doing when I started. I thought I did, but I was clueless. Now, after 5 years, I know the job. Because of John, at least my take, this town is greener, it's healthier, it's more bike-friendly. As an individual, you've had such enormous impact on this town. And I thank you for that. And I also thank you for teaching me, and I thank you for having patience with me. All of those things are key. Meredith, you and I did a lot of debating too. You were always looking out for the best interests of the town. I don't know how you did, but you navigated through the water treatment plant, which, and you navigated through the building committee, and you did it with grace, and those were complicated things, and when they're complicated, the world can sometimes come after you. And I thank you for all of your dedication. I know you're going to continue to do phenomenal things. You're young, and there's lots of good stuff ahead. Gary, you were later to the game. But our 2 years, I enjoyed working with you. I thank you for your service. Your heart is in Farmington. That's what I learned about you, Gary, is the reason people elect you, the people trust you, is because you're only in it for Farmington. So I thank you for your service. John Landry, I don't know if you're here or not, John. You and I did not always agree on pretty much anything. But I know how much work this is. And I know this is a volunteer gig. And I know what you did, and I appreciate that your time and then your energy, and that you're doing it for Farmington. So I thank you again. Can't always agree on everything, but I do thank you for your time. And Nancy, it's hard to manage the 7 of us. And you've worked really hard. Your entire life has been dedicating your time to this town, from early on to the Board of Ed, to the council. And again, we didn't always agree on everything, but I never questioned your integrity, and honestly, I never questioned that you thought you were doing what was best for the town. Sometimes you and I diverged slightly on what we thought was best for the town, but you care, and I am beyond thankful for your help. And then Kathy Egan. You have to deal with all of us. And you do it with a lot of grace, and you do it with a lot of strength and grace. And you have a good balance, and you do a really good job. And we thank you. So good luck, everyone. You know the new crowd. I have no doubt that you're going to do fantastic. My only advice is do what you believe in, stick to what is right, listen to yourself, because if you listen to yourself when you vote up there, you're never going to feel bad when you go home. So anyway, congratulations all. Thank you for the vote. No, thank you.
Meredith Trimble. Meredith. Personally, I would like to thank Meredith, to begin by thanking her for taking on the role of the vice chair. Many times during these 4 years, I've needed your help and your assistance and guidance, and you've been there for me to help me through this hard job. You're one of the most articulate people that I've served with over the last 20 years. You have such an easy way of expressing an opinion and doing it so eloquently. Your Board of Education experience was a great asset for you coming to the council, and it brought a lot of knowledge that we could use. Unionville was represented well with you on the Unionville Historic Commission and the UVIA. Farmington was fortunate to have you step up and into the liaison position with the WPCA. This $57 million project, probably the least fun committee in the town, is one of the most important and essential commissions. You spent endless hours on the Farmington High School Building Committee as well. Your involvement on many other committees and as a volunteer and in many other aspects of the community has been extremely valuable. I thank you very much on behalf of the town for all of your hard work and dedication in caring for Farmington. The proclamation. Whereas Meredith Trimble has served on the Farmington Town Council from 2014 to 2018, serving as the vice chair from 2016 to 18. Whereas Meredith Trimble has served as a Farmington Board of Education member from 2012 to 2014. And whereas Meredith Trimble has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Unionville Village Improvement Association, Alma Baylor Taylor Scholarship Trust Committee, Unionville Historic District Commission, and the Farmington High School Building Committee. And whereas Meredith Trimble has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Water Pollution Control Authority, and during her tenure, a $57 million upgrade to the Water Pollution Control Authority was overwhelmingly approved by the Farmington voters. Whereas Meredith Trimble is an active member in the Farmington community, having served on the Farmington Public School Foundation and the Union School Parent Teacher Association. And whereas Meredith Trimble has always maintained a focus on the public good and acted to protect the public interest over private interest while donating countless hours of time, energy, and personal commitment to better our community and enrich the lives of the residents of the town of Farmington. And whereas in addition to her long-standing commitment to the town, Meredith Trimble's true devotion lies with her loved ones, including her husband Ryan, and her son Ian, and her daughter Maddie. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council hereby commends Town Council member Meredith Trimble for her excellent work on behalf of the community, and we hereby thank her for her selfless dedication and immeasurable contributions and commitment to the town of Farmington and its residents. The Farmington Town Council hereby extends to Meredith Trimble best wishes on her new endeavors. Dated this 12th day of December 2017 at Farmington, Connecticut. Nancy Nickerson, Farmington Town Council Chair. Oh.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're all waiting to see if it's actually very nice. Thank you so much. So I do have a couple of thank yous of my own, but they will be quick and I'll try not to be redundant. I wanted to start, actually, I'll start with Kathy before she runs out with my glassware, which I love. Working with you for 4 years has truly been a wonderful honor. And I really wanted to thank you and the rest of the town staff that I've worked closely with, Erica, Joe, Kat, Russ Arnold, Bill Warner, Rose, and I want to include Paula Ray is around here somewhere. I wanted to include Paula Ray as well. All of you for working above and beyond constantly to keep us all afloat up here. You are tremendous assets to the community, and I have enjoyed every moment of working with you all and especially laughing with you all and getting to know all of you. So thanks to all of the town staff. And I also really wanted to thank the council members who were already serving on council when I came on board. Nancy, you have been an incredible mentor and friend. And this is the part where I get emotional, but I am so looking forward to cheering on your continued successes and continuing our coffees, but broadening their subjects now beyond politics. So I'm looking forward to that. And I really wanted to say thank you to Amy and John Vibert for your, you were so sincerely welcoming and helpful when I came on board. And I learned so much from both of you. And I'm just so proud to have served up here with both of you. So thank you. And my outgoing council colleagues, Gary and Peter, these years have given me your forever friendship. And that is something that I could not be more grateful for. So thanks to you guys. And finally, my family, there at the end of the road, there is cake. And that's what they've been waiting all these years for. So with Board of Ed, it's been 6 years of my kids, Ian and Maddie, having me leave the house for meeting after meeting after meeting, and they actually will tell you they hate the word meeting about now. And Ryan for holding down the fort. Just thank you guys for your support of this really intense level of service. So thank you guys. It is not easy to be them and have me be up here. And we are really looking forward to this being the last time that I miss dinner and bedtime for a good long time. So thanks to everybody.
Last but certainly not least, John. Oh. Yeah. John, you and I have been around here for a long time.
Yes, we have.
You've been a Farmington, Unionville resident all your life, and actually generations like Peter as well, and a Farmington High alumni, which is a fun thing we all share. You've given a great deal of your time and your energy to the town and its citizens in the past, and I'm sure that will continue even beyond your time on the council. You have spent countless hours on committees for Unionville, for the traffic, for the roads, revitalization, with the museum, the bridge, many, many things. That's just a few of the things that you've been involved with Unionville, John. Your advocacy and your involvement for the Green Efforts Commission, as was mentioned earlier, is just extraordinary. And we see the effects of that all around the town, and we're going to see that for years to come. Your, the bike committee, the beginning of the bike committee, and your involvement as a steward of the land in town is much appreciated and also gives direction for the town moving forward. I just want to thank you on behalf of the citizens for your dedication and your caring for the town of Farmington, Unionville. So I'm sure it's going to continue for a long time. Whereas John Vibbert has served on the Farmington Town Council from 2010 to 2018, and whereas John Vibbert has served on the Farmington Land Trust Board of Directors from 1999 to 2008, serving as president for 5 years, and whereas John Vibbert has served as chairman of the Bike Advisory Committee, the Green Efforts Committee, and whereas throughout his tenure on the Town Council, John Vibbert has served as the Town of Farmington liaison to the Conservation and Inland Wetlands Committee, the Unionville Village Improvement Association, the Web Page Committee, the Farmington Subcommittee, Recreation Committee, the Town Plan and Zoning Commission, and the Unionville Traffic Committee, and the Housing Authority. And whereas John Vibbert is an active member in the Farmington community, having served on the board of the Unionville Museum, serving as the museum treasurer for 6 years, and his involvement with Farmington Youth Soccer, Farmington Youth Baseball, and Cub Scout Pack 37. And whereas John Vibbert has always maintained a focus on the public good and acted to protect the public interest over private interests while donating countless hours of time, energy, and personal commitment to better our community and enrich the lives of the residents of the town of Farmington. And whereas in addition to his long-standing commitment to the town, John Vibbert's true devotion lies with his loved ones, including his wife Dana, his 4 children Jack, Bob, Juliet, and Olivia. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council hereby commends Town Council member John Vibbert for his excellent work on behalf of the community, and we hereby thank him for his selfless dedication and immeasurable contributions and commitment to the town of Farmington and its residents. The Farmington Town Council hereby extends to John Vibbert best wishes on his new endeavors. Dated this 12th day of December 2017 at Farmington, Connecticut, Nancy Nickerson, Farmington Town Council Chair. Oh, here, I'll hold it. Or you-
So I feel very honored tonight, and I thank all of you for being here and being supportive for my 8 years on the town council. I also feel very humble. I felt humble the first election when the residents of the District 2 put me in this position, and I've been very humbled for their continued support through all those 8 years. And it's not just elections, it's talking to people in Stop and Shop, it's seeing people at George's. All those things, when people come up and talk to me and look to me to support their efforts to make this a great town. And so I really appreciate that. One of the things that, and I sort of knew this before, you heard from Nancy, you know, I've lived in Unionville my whole life, class of 68. And so I've known a lot of things about the town of Farmington. But in these last 8 years, I really got to learn a lot more than I ever had before. And we live in an amazingly great town. And it's little things. It's like the town picking up farmland after the flood of '55. It's people buying up the reservoir and starting a movement for open space. It's people understanding what a good thing it was to get West Farms 3/4 of the way in Farmington. It's getting people to understand what a good job it was to plan to put the industrial park next to Plainville off to the side, making us a lot better community. Because what I was amazed to find out, we have more people coming into Farmington every morning than leave. And it's because we have businesses here. You know, Nancy mentioned, or Kathy mentioned, you know, Pratt and Whitney putting their headquarters here. That's because we have a good industrial support. And I can remember back a few years, we didn't have an economic development commissioner. Now we do. And we've had two great ones. Rose Ponte is doing an excellent job. And it really helps each and every person in this town because we have more businesses paying taxes than other towns. We're in a better position. It's really been remarkable what a nice place this is to live. I love driving down Plainville Avenue and seeing all the trees. You can't go to West Hartford and see those trees. And that's because this is a town that has been well managed, well planned, and I was delighted to be an 8-year member of the town council helping to push those things forward. I won't get into thanking all the town staff because I'm going to forget somebody and I wouldn't want to do that. Our town staff is just remarkable. You know, and it's funny because we've gone through a couple of changes over the last couple of years. We have a new town planner, we have a new economic development commissioner, and we don't lose a step. We lose good people, we hire good people, and we continue along. And I think it's in Kathy's, because of Kathy, that's been going on. So thank you, Kathy. I don't want to get into rambling here. You know, again, we live in a good town. We have good school systems. And I've been delighted to spend 8 years helping us be a greater town. I certainly want to thank my wife, Dana, for putting up with me. And it's not just twice a month. There's many nights we have meetings. And she puts up with it, and thank you. I want to thank my son, Jack, who's here tonight. And I will thank my son, Bob, and my daughters, Juliet and Olivia, for having helped me through this time. And for those of you who are on the council and have children, understand, especially in high school, it gets a little bit iffy when your father is one of the members of the town council and you're going to high school. You know, people realize that your father has something to do with what's going on, and it puts them in an awkward position. And I'm very thankful for my family for putting up with that awkwardness. So thank you, Jack, and thank you to Bob and Juliet and Olivia. Also want to thank Nancy and Mike Clark and Jeff Hogan, who have led the council through my 8 years and have done a tremendous job. And I think that things have been running very smoothly, and they started getting better in around 2010, and it wasn't because of my entry in it. It was because of the leadership that was happening and bringing people together to make this town a better place. And thank you, and thank you, and thank you, Jeff, for leading the way. Thanks.
That ends our formal presentation. We now are going to have coffee and cake, but before we do, I just want to say to everyone something that was mentioned before. This is a very happy night to celebrate everybody's service, and it's also a sad one in a way of people moving on. And we just want to really thank everyone for your service and for being here in Farmington. And I'm sure we're going to see all of you doing many, many things for many years to come. So it's not a goodbye, it's just until we see you doing something else. But we have a meeting later, so. But thank you all very much, and thank everybody for coming tonight. That really shows what the community thinks about the people that are here serving, that you'd all come out and say thank you, too, by your being here. So I really appreciate that, and I want to say that on behalf of the council members here tonight. So thank you very much. Good evening. I'd like, excuse me, I'd like to welcome you to the Town Council meeting, the Farmington Town Council meeting, and ask everyone to join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Tonight, before the meeting, we had a reception for the members of the town council that will be leaving us. And the members of the town council are Peter Master-Batista, Gary Palumbo, Amy Suffredini, Meredith Trimble, and John Vibbert. And we had a proclamation for each of the people, each of the town council members that is in the record. And I would just like to say that this was a very special night, that tonight we're honoring 5 town council members for their service and their dedication to the town of Farmington. On behalf of the citizens of Farmington, I extend our deep appreciation and thanks for your service. We are very fortunate to have dedicated, caring, committed volunteers, giving so much of their time and energies looking out for Farmington's future. We do have a recipe for success here in town, thanks to such outstanding council members. And I say thank you again to each of you for your service for the many years that you've been here. Thank you. Our next proclamation is for Jack Nelson.
What's that, Mr. Nelson? Well, good evening, everybody. It gives me great pleasure tonight to give this proclamation to Jack Nelson, who, if my memory serves me correctly, is the first person who I met when I moved to the town of Farmington. I believe he's the very first person I met in this town. I live across the street from him, and we moved in March 1st, 2006 during a blizzard, and we were from Seattle, Washington, where we don't get snow, and we had no snow gear at all. And my wife and I were trying to move into our house wearing sneakers. And I just remember looking across the street and wanting and seeing Jack over there and wanting to go over there and say, hey, do you have some boots I can borrow or something? And we didn't get the nerve up to do it, so we put plastic bags on our shoes and we moved in with that. But so Jack didn't help us that day. However, for the 11 years that I've been here, Jack has been a tremendous help, not only to my family, but to the community. One thing that I noticed immediately when moving into that house was across the street, the red truck that was parked backwards, because as you know, firefighters and police officers always park backwards, ready to go. Countless times per day, those lights would go on. I'd see them from my living room, and I hadn't met Jack, or I hadn't talked to Jack then. I had met him, but we didn't really understand the true spirit of volunteer firefighters in a small town, because we came from a big city. And I got to know Jack and his family very well, who are all volunteer firefighters, and it's just an amazing dedication to the town. All hours of the night, whether you're mowing the grass, snow blowing the driveway, having a beer out on the front porch, no matter what, when the call comes, we just saw two guys run out tonight who just got a call, who would like to be here right now, probably for the next proclamation, and Jack's as well, but they just ran out. So tremendous dedication that our volunteer firefighters give to this town. And for that, I want to applaud you right now. So. And so the reason we're here tonight is that every year the Connecticut Exchange Clubs have the Firefighter of the Year. And each exchange club reaches out to their town and asks for nominations from the different companies, and then one is chosen. Tonight we're fortunate enough to actually have 2. And so I am a member of the Exchange Club, and I've had the privilege of attending this reception, I think for about 10 years now, at the AquaTurf. It's a beautiful reception. There's a couple hundred people in attendance. Firefighters from all over Connecticut are there and honored. It's a good AquaTurf meal. The bagpipes are played, and it's a tremendous, for lack of a better word, thing that the Exchange Club does for our firefighters, recognition. So, again, it gives me pleasure to present this proclamation tonight on behalf of the Farmington Town Council for the Exchange Club Firefighter of the Year. And I will read it right now for Jack. Whereas Jack Nelson has served the town of Farmington as a firefighter for over 40 years, starting as a volunteer firefighter at the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department. And whereas Jack Nelson held numerous social and line officer positions for the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department, culminating his career as chief of the department from November 1994 through October 2004. And whereas Jack Nelson is a top responder and a fixture at the East Farms Fire Department, always putting the good of the department ahead of himself, as well as serving as the golf tournament chairman and the department's largest fundraiser. And whereas Jack Nelson is a committed parent and grandfather in the community and volunteers at East Farms Elementary School, helping to provide children with fire prevention and home safety tips, and participating in the Ride to School in a Fire Truck program. And whereas Jack Nelson has made significant and lasting contributions that have fostered the well-being of the citizens of the town of Farmington. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council hereby commends Jack Nelson for his excellent work on behalf of the community, and we congratulate him on his 2017 Firefighter of the Year award. The Farmington Town Council hereby proclaims December 12th, 2017 as Jack Nelson Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 12th day of December 2017, Nancy Nickerson, Chair of Farmington Town Council. And you get a hat.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, yes. There you go, John.
So like I said earlier, we actually have 2 firefighters of the year this year, which is unusual in the time that I've been on the Exchange Club, so that's great. So I'd like to invite Nicholas Spencer up here. So, as you all know, I know Jack Nelson very well since the day I moved here. However, I don't know Nicholas Spencer. And so I tried to get a story out of some of his buddies earlier. I said, you know, can you give me something? And like the true brotherhood that the firefighters are, tight-lipped. So I got nothing for you. But, you know, it looks like you've been with the company now, what, for 11 years. So I'm sure there'll be plenty more years, and you'll be up here maybe 30 years from now with 40 years of service like the gentleman before you. Again, we were at the AquaTurf, I believe it's in October, and we honored these 2 firefighters from Farmington. So without further ado, I will read the proclamation, which will speak a little bit to Nicholas, I'm sorry. Whereas Nicholas Spencer joined Tunx's Hose Company No. 1 in November of 2006, signed the Constitution as a regular member in June 2007, and was recently promoted to lieutenant of the Southwest Station. And whereas Nicholas Spencer has completed multiple fire instructor certifications, as well as a certification in operational hazardous materials. And whereas Nicholas Spencer was recognized in 2016 for his extrication skills at a motor vehicle accident and his leadership skills at a structure fire. And whereas Nicholas Spencer was instrumental in the fundraising effort toward the new regional training facility, utilizing his carpenter's skill to fabricate a custom sign displaying a thermometer showing the $1 million goal and the actual money raised. And whereas Nicholas Spencer participated in nearly every fundraising effort that benefited the training facility, helping to reach its fundraising goal, and whereas Nicholas Spencer has made significant and lasting contributions that have fostered the well-being of the citizens of the town of Farmington. Now, therefore, the Farmington Town Council hereby commends Nicholas Spencer for his excellent work on behalf of the community, and we congratulate him on his 2017 Firefighter of the Year award. The Farmington Town Council hereby proclaims December 13th, 2017 as Nicholas Spencer Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 12th day of December, 2017, Nancy Nickerson, Chair of Farmington Town Council. You get a
well.
Thank you. Mike, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity. I want to echo what was said earlier about the 5 retiring members of the Town Council. They have served this town well, and I personally will miss them, and I know the whole town of Farmington will miss all 5 of you. So good work, and we thank you. However, we also have other people to thank. Jack and Nicholas, I would like to present these citations from the state of Connecticut. And I'll read one. They're both the same. So, State of Connecticut, General Assembly official citation, introduced by Representative Mike D'Amico, Representative Derek Slapp, Senator Beth Bayh, Senator Terry Geritana. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Jack Nelson and Nicholas Spencer in recognition of your selection as Firefighters of the Year for 2017. The residents of Farmington are the beneficiaries of your many years of dedicated and courageous service. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success. Given this 12th day of December 2017 at the state capitol, Martin Looney, President Pro Tem of the State Senate, Joe Arasimowicz, Speaker of the House, and Denise Merrill, Secretary of the State. Congratulations to Jack and to Nicholas. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much and congratulations. Next, the public hearing. None. New items. Public comment. At this time, I'd ask anyone who would like to address the council to come up, and you have 5 minutes, and please give us your name and your address. Okay. Reading of the minutes.
I move to accept the October 11th, 2017 regular town council minutes.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay, I move to approve the November 14th, 2017 regular town council meeting minutes.
Second.
Any changes or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Communications, Kathy.
Just saw that in the packet that I did write a letter to the MDC about their rate increases.
Okay. Report of committees. Yukon, no report. Land acquisition.
Nothing to report.
Green efforts.
Just last week, the Green Efforts Committee met for the final time for this year. We had a long discussion, and we had a guest speaker talking about the possibility of doing solar panels or solar projects on municipal properties. They use the school system as an example. They focused on West District School, which they think is a good choice. But the purpose of the meeting was more about getting the people on the Green Efforts Committee familiar with the intricacies of doing solar for municipal buildings. I expect that the 2018 year will be spent getting deeper into that, both for schools as well as other municipal facilities. And there are many intricacies. For example, when you have a facility with solar panels, to be able to have those flow back into the grid, it has to be on from a single point. So you can't put a zillion solar panels out on Tungus Mead, for example, because they just don't use that much electricity. And each school and each municipal property is going to have their unique features. And I think what was important about this particular meeting was getting all the members up to speed as to what those intricacies are. And I think you're going to hear more about that in 2018, hopefully. And hopefully it'll turn out to be a project which saves the town an awful lot of money. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Joint Town of Farmington, City of Hartford.
Nothing.
The Bike Advisory Committee.
We had no meeting in December. There was none scheduled. The Bike Committee will pick up their work in January.
Thanks. Gateway.
Nothing new to report.
Report of the council chair and liaisons. I just, under my report tonight, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that are going to be leaving us and not here in January. I've really enjoyed working with you, and I'm very proud to have been a part of a council with each of you on it. And I've learned a lot through and with each of you, and have a lot of respect for each one of you and for our work together. So thank you very much for what you've done to the town, for the town, and all the hours and time you've given for much more than just these council meetings. As we said earlier, there are many, many hours of committee meetings and going to different functions that you all have taken part in again and again for the better of Farmington. So I thank you very much, and from myself as well as the town. Thank you. Board of Education.
Nothing to report.
UVIA.
Just a thank you to all who attended and participated in the Jingle Bell Jubilee, and a particular thank you, as always, to Tungus Hose for providing Santa at the end. It was a wonderful success and just a really happy community gathering.
TPZ.
From last night's meeting, things of significance probably to report would be the application for Route 4 and 10, the development where the Gamble architecture firm was, the Brown Historic House on the corner there. They have pulled their application, and so look forward to the next application on that property. The property off of right across from Brickyard Road, a new 55-plus apartment complex has been approved for 32 units. It will complement the other facility that's going up there. And those were the two major things from TPZ last night.
Okay, thank you. WPCA.
You know, it's actually the committee that I will miss the most, and I feel like it's the one that was talked about the most tonight. And I just have to say that in terms of committee leadership, Jim Foote just does an outstanding job, and town staff, Bill and Alex Kaminsky, are just really, really tremendous individuals. The project could not be going better. It is even slightly ahead of schedule, on budget. It's just a tremendous success for the town of Farmington, and so that whole WPCA group deserves a lot of credit. And I'm just thrilled to have been able to work with them on the success.
Thank you. EDC.
Nothing to report.
Human Relations.
Nothing to report.
Chamber of Commerce.
The chamber will be hosting their ugly sweater Christmas party tomorrow night at Unionville Museum.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then one thing I did notice as well is that a new Welcome to Farmington sign went up as you're coming up South Road from the mall into Farmington, and I believe the chamber is the organization that puts those up. Is that right, Kathy?
They had put the other ones up. This one was not put up by the chamber.
Oh, okay.
But we do have a new sign.
But we have a new sign,
Yeah.
regardless,
Yes,
in one of our main gateways to Farmington.
yes.
So,
We received a donation for that.
oh, great.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any other liaison reports?
Only the Historic District. At 4 o'clock, I was at a Historic District Commission, and actually, they had an informal presentation. The Catholic Church in Farmington Village is looking to expand. And they came in and showed us the plans, but it was informal. Most likely in January or February, there'll be a formal presentation to the Historic District. And we're encouraging them to reach out to as many people as possible in the community so they can come and listen and hear and put their feedback. If it makes it through Historic District, and then it will go to TPZ. But it's important for everyone to know that this is on the horizon, and that everyone just pays attention and makes sure that it works in people's vision of the town. But they couldn't have been nicer, and they really took a lot of the feedback, and they're going to go back to the drawing board and come back to Historic District in January. So whoever is in this place come January, I just hope they make sure that people know that these meetings are happening. So.
Great. Thanks, Amy. Report of the town manager.
You have the written report in front of you. A couple of things. We had some very good news is that on Wednesday, November 15th, Moody's released a report assigning a AAA rating to our upcoming debt issue. They reaffirmed our AAA Moody's rating, and they said that we're in stable financial position, sizable tax base, and formal financial policies as major factors in assigning and affirming the AAA rating. They were, in general, very impressed with the town's financial practices, which they felt put the town in a solid financial position. It was noted in the report that they did raise some concern with our below-average reserve levels for a AAA Moody's town. So that is just something that the council should be aware of. The other thing that was very interesting, though, is that the Moody's rating agencies are very, very concerned about the state of Connecticut and the debt, and they are looking at a lot of the different towns, especially towns that are very reliant on state aid, and about downgrading and the different things. So we were very pleased that we were able to keep our Moody's rating, and then we issued debt on November 28th, and we sold $2,700,000 in general obligation bonds, and that helped us with that we had a AAA rating, and that we did have some 3 bidders on our debt. So all was good on the financial end of things in November.
Kathy, what percentage are they looking at? I mean, it's gone up every year. Oh, they're looking at, because when I started, it was 8, so now, okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking to be 15.
15% for the Moody's towns, I mean the AAA.
We're at about 11 now?
I think we're getting closer to 12, but yeah, so they
Okay,
were like
that's-
15%. And just 2 other things, just the outgoing town council members, if you could remember to sometime drop off your code books in my office or in Paula's office, that would be great to do that. And lastly, I just wanted to just say thank you to all the outgoing council people. I've really liked working with all of you. Thanks for your years of service, and I always think when I sit up here that it's amazing because you guys are all volunteers, and the time and effort, and I get paid for this, and it's really, it's just amazing that how much you care about the community. And when Nancy was reading some of the things over the last 10 years, I mean, with John being on it so long, and just really so much work has been done, and the collaborative effort of the whole group, and I really feel like we've been a great team, all of us, and thank you for your support over the years, and I'll miss you guys. And it's kind of sad that it's your last meeting, but anyway, thanks for your years of service. Appreciate it. And that's
Thank
it.
you. Okay. Any comments on Kathy's report, or? Okay, could I have a motion? We didn't.
I move to accept the December 12th town manager's report.
Second.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Appointments.
Okay, I have L3. I move that William Wadsworth be appointed to the Economic Development Commission for the balance of a 2-year term beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2019.
Second.
Any comments, questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, next.
All right, I have L4. I feel like I'm going to butcher this name. If anybody knows how to correct me, I move that Dino Marchese be appointed to the Farmington Historic District Commission as an alternate member for the balance of a 5-year term, beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2019.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay, I have L10. I move that John Brockelman be appointed to the Unionville Historic District and Properties Commission for the balance of a 5-year term, beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2020.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. This looks like it's a Democratic position.
That's true. It does
That's
say
an
that.
error from my office, because when Matt was appointed, he was a Republican, and he stays as a Republican until, if you're elected to the board, let's say you're a council person, we've had this happen in the past. Mr. Erickson switched his party affiliation in the midterm. You stay as what you were until you're done for purposes of minority representation. That's the law. And my assistant didn't realize that when she put this together.
So the agenda is in error?
Yes, he should say R next to his name.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Did we?
Not yet. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Opposed?
Abstentions? Okay. Any others? John?
No.
Okay. Old business. New business.
I move to recommend the establishment of a conservation easement in favor of the Farmington Land Trust over 8885 South Ridge Road to the TPZ for a report under Section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes.
Second.
I would like to speak to this first before we go on. This is the first time that we are seeing this conservation easement brought before the council. And we had a discussion, oh goodness, a year ago maybe, about working together with the land trust, excuse me, with the land trust in maintaining the property that we were able to purchase. And I absolutely, I'm happy to do that and work together with the land trust to do that. This document of the conservation easement is much more involved and much more technical than my expectation to begin with. So what I would like to ask the council is that if we could, what I'd like to do, I actually called our attorney to find out what kind of options we could have where we would be working together with the land trust in the same manner. And there are other options that we can look at to do this. So with this being the first time we've seen this as a council and looking at it, I would really like to have the opportunity to have a couple of different possibilities of how we do this and what kind of document we actually move forward. So I would like that opportunity, and I wanted to have this was going to be on our plate because it has been ongoing for a long time. But I would ask the council to allow us to direct the Kathy, our town manager, to go back to the land trust and to work together with our land acquisition or land trust and the group, and to go through what a couple of different options there would be. He gave me a few different possibilities that weren't an easement per se. So I'd like to have that opportunity, and I'm asking the council to have that liberty to go through this. And it wouldn't, obviously, this is our last meeting, so it would be with the next council that would be sitting here to go through that. But I would like that opportunity, and I won't belabor it unless you ask how you feel, but Meredith.
Okay, so given Nancy's feeling, and I too just had questions regarding the nature of this document in particular, if there are possible ways for cooperation with the land trust that would not necessarily be this document, I think it would be in the best interest of the town. So to give the chair and the next council that opportunity, I'd like to withdraw my motion. And I don't know if you would need to withdraw your second.
Okay, well, before I do anything, I just want to say that seeing this document, so I guess this late in the game, I don't think I could do it fair justice by this short period of time. I would rather have this thing go back and have another look at it, maybe not as a easement, but maybe a different type of cooperative venture, maybe with the land trust. So at this time, I don't feel comfortable moving this forward at all right now, just because I don't have enough information right now, and the clock's run out, at least for this sitting board right now. So procedurally, I have to pull back my
I don't know if you
we
need
can
to, I
see
read
how
through
you
the
feel.
motion, I don't know if you
Right,
need.
the only thing I wanted to add, because there have been people who've reached out to all of us over the years just talking about this. It's a wonderful overture that the Land Trust wants to take care of land that we don't have the resources to do. So by putting this on hold until January, I don't want members of the Land Trust to think in any way that we're pushing back. We are grateful of their overture. It's just, it's proper to do things a little bit slowly and do our due diligence and talking to our attorneys. But it's just, I just want to make it clear that what they're trying to do is something good for the town, and we just want to make sure we get the details right, because if something goes wrong, we want everything sort of nice legalese to make sure we know how to handle it. But I do appreciate the overture.
And I want to absolutely echo what you're saying, Amy, too. And I have full confidence that in working with the Land
Yeah.
Trust, we'll do something. But I just, this is I expected a page to look at of maintenance, and this is, I don't know how many pages, 8, of detailed information that I don't feel comfortable moving forward with for next council. So, anyway, I don't know how everybody else, if that's okay, we'll just, the procedure would be that we would remove that, but then
Put it on January.
tell Kathy to bring it to us at another time with some other possibilities of how we can work together with the Land Trust, so.
So is the motion effectively withdrawn?
So I don't have a problem with
Okay.
falling back on this, but it needs to be clear that as we were going through the whole purchase process, the Land Trust was there shoulder to shoulder, helping us get the votes necessary and getting the vote through, getting the ownership, and always they were committed to being the stewards for this property, which is a new thing. The conservation easement, as far as I can see, doesn't add much protection because we took state money for this. That means this is protected open space, and therefore the conservation easement puts another layer on it, but without that layer, it's still protected.
It is.
And so I think this is a great opportunity to go into a cooperative arrangement with the Land Trust, because frankly, we've not done a good job at protecting our open space. We've put forth a lot of open space. I don't know if we have a single piece of open space that has a written document saying how to maintain it. I know that the Conservation Commission at one time was putting something together about the lands along the Farmington River. As far as I know, that maintenance plan never got put into place. One of the things that the Land Trust brings forth for us is the ability to put together a written maintenance plan for properties and to move forward and following that plan. So I would very much encourage us, whether this document does it or some other document, we need to move forward with that arrangement because it's going to greatly help us in terms of protecting our open space.
And that's something, John, we should look into with our open space and how we do. I don't know the answers to those things, so. Okay, so Paula, what's the procedure?
Well, Peter has to withdraw his motion.
All right, I'll-
Discussion, well, if the discussion is finished.
Okay. So first of all, are we,
Yeah, I'll just add to
Okay.
for the record, I agree with everything, that the sentiments up here. When I read through this, I thought it was pretty in-depth and full of a lot of legalese, and I would feel more comfortable maybe even going through a short workshop where we can fully understand. But again, I also appreciate the Farmington Land Trust and their willingness to work in a partnership with us. So we want to certainly be accommodating to that as well. But I do agree with putting this on pause for now.
I do agree too. Maybe some other type of stewardship, but I do agree, Land Trust was there when we were purchasing this land. But right now, I think we have to put it on hold.
and there actually are a few different ways, which I don't know the depth of right now, but there's a stewardship agreement, there's a license, there are different kinds of things that you can do. So I think it would behoove us to look into all those different things, so. Okay, so is that okay? Everybody's good?
Now Peter withdraws.
Peter?
I will withdraw my second.
So we're good?
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you all very much. Okay, N2.
I move to opt out of the provisions of Public Act Number 17-155, an act concerning temporary healthcare structures.
Second.
Kathy.
So this is the state saying that if you, as a owner, you can put a healthcare structure in your backyard, and you only have to get approval through the planning. It doesn't need planning and zoning approval. It just needs staff approval. And what the law basically says, or the Public Act says, is that in reality, it's easier to do something like this, a temporary healthcare structure in your backyard, than it is to be able to build a pool in town or do something like that. And what we're trying to do here is that many towns are opting out, and what we're saying is that we don't want the state to tell us what our zoning is, that we want us to have local control over it. So it's not anything about the act itself or what they're actually doing. We're just saying that we want to keep our own control over it. And for that reason, we want to opt out of the Public Act 17-155. And how the process works is that the Planning and Zoning Commission has completed the requirements, and they have recommended that we opt out. And so now you guys are making a formal motion to opt out too. And I think that I suggest that we vote to opt out, and because we're not opposed to these types of structures, the town feels strongly that the approval of these structures should follow regulations adopted locally and not be required to follow regulations imposed upon towns by the state legislature. So that's what this is about.
Questions for Kathy?
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. N3.
All right, I move to approve a 2.5-year contract between the Town of Farmington and the East Farmington Volunteer Fire Department, Inc., Farmington Volunteer Fire Department, LLC, and Tunxus Hose Company, No. 1, Inc.
Second.
Kathy.
So as many of you know, we do have a contract between our volunteer companies. And this is a new contract. It's 2.5 years because we're into a new year already. So that's why it's 2.5 years. And I put a new one on your spot because I said 3, but it's really 2.5 years. And it's a 2.5-year contract. There's been a change in the reimbursement to volunteer firefighters for response to calls and participation in drills. And the contract now recognizes the increase in responsibilities and certifications of 3 district levels, providing an increase in reimbursements of each of those levels. The rates will be increased 50 cents over the term of the contract. There was also moderate increases to the yearly department donation, $1,000 over the 2.5 years, and the fuel allowance for each of the 3 department chiefs. We give them a fuel allowance too. All other items would remain the same. I've been working with the chiefs on this contract. I think it's a fair contract to both the town. The volunteers put a tremendous amount of work in for us. It's a reasonable increase for them. We are working really very hard to keep our volunteers, the volunteer system intact, and they, there's just a tremendous amount of work that they do, volunteer their time, and I do like the idea, and the chiefs had come up with it, is that you get paid a little bit higher if you have a higher level of certification. So it encourages people to take another fire class or get a higher level of certification. So it's a 2.5-year contract, and the chiefs, I think, are pleased with it, and I'm pleased with it, and I would like to recommend it to the town council.
Any questions for Kathy?
What is the current rate, Kathy?
The current rate, and I didn't bring my thing. Erica, do you happen to have it? I forgot my folder upstairs. Do we, or I have
It's
8
8.25.
8 1/4. I'm sorry.
So it would be going to 8 and 3/4?
They have different rates
Oh, there's
for the
different
different
tiers. For the
tiers.
different-
Yeah. Got my contract upstairs.
Other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. N4.
I move to approve the property tax refunds as shown on agenda item N4.
Second.
Any questions or concerns? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Do we have any executive session?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
Thank you.
No